everyone, Ace of Clay here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another sculpting video. If you're new here, I'm a sculptor and every week I make a new sculpture. In today's video, we are continuing the story of the Mutant Universe with the first Anti-Mutant. If you're not familiar with my Mutant Universe, it is a series of characters that I've been developing over the past year, and I have an entire playlist in the description box below that goes through each character that I've created so far. Now, just to give you a little bit of background on Anti-Mutants before we get into the video, every mutant in the Mutant Universe has its own Anti-Mutant counterpart. Anti-Mutants are good characters that combat the mutants. And in this video, you get to meet the Tailor, who is the Seamstress's Anti-Mutant. I have way more information and lore to share with you about these characters throughout this entire video, so make sure you watch the whole thing so you don't miss anything. And then before we get started, I just released another brand new holographic print. This one features all of the mutants from the Mutant Universe. It is 8.5 by 11, super high quality, and it's got that awesome holographic shimmer to it. It is available right now at aceofclay.com. This is another super limited run. Each one will come hand signed by me and numbered. The last holographic print that I released of the guides a couple weeks ago sold out super fast, so if you want this one, you gotta grab it before it's gone. I did get a couple more copies than last time, so more people will be able to get this one, but once it's gone forever. I am not restocking these. And now without further ado, let's make the Tailor. Alright, let's get started. I've got my aluminum wire here and I'm going to start shaping out the Tailor's armature. Now the Tailor is actually a modified mannequin stand, and we're going to start by making the base for that here. And as always, all the tools and materials that you see me use in this video are listed in the description box below, along with my affiliate links if you want to purchase anything. Alright, now this mannequin stand is going to have 3 legs that support a main pole. I'm just bending out the wire here to shape those legs. Repeat this 2 more times. And this is what they'll look like when they're all together. Now I just want to make that supporting pole, figure out his height. Then to attach the legs to the pole, I'm using some epoxy sculpt, and I'm just going to press each leg into this. Not all is dark in the Mutant Universe. There are signs of light that glimmer in the distance, moments of hope and the possibility of defeating the deafening darkness that hovers over the world. Today we meet one of those forces of good, the first Anti-Mutant, the Tailor. Alright, once those legs are all set, it's time to add his arms. Just got 2 more pieces of wire like this, and I'm attaching them with some floral wire. After adding some bacon bond to the armature, I'm going in with some Super Sculpey Original and shaping out the base of his torso. This is not going to be the final shape, this is just to really hold everything together. Alright, now let's bake this. And once that's baked and completely cooled down, I'm just brushing the surface with some clay softener, which I kind of wish I didn't do because it made adding the clay super slippery. I really don't know why I did this, but I'm adding my final layer of clay on top and shaping out the final shape of his torso. I want him to be very, very skinny and lanky looking. For every mutant that is created by the entity, there is an anti-mutant, a good counterpart that holds a portion of the mutant's soul from before they were transformed. These anti-mutants are one of the only ways that mutants can be directly suppressed. While guides have the ability to rescue beings that are under attack by mutants, anti-mutants have the power to destroy the mutants altogether, but getting a mutant in the vicinity of an anti-mutant is an entirely different story. Alright, now before we get into the rest of the video, let's take a second to talk about our sponsor, Aura. You do everything online. Aura helps you do it safely by protecting your data from hackers, scammers, and spammers. Aura continuously monitors the dark web looking for your passwords, emails, and social security numbers, and sends alerts fast to your phone or email when they find anything. Now, the second I downloaded Aura and signed up, they already found my email in the dark web and where it was breached from. And without having Aura, I wouldn't have even known this happened. Aura also gives you near real-time alerts on suspicious credit inquiries, like if someone was opening a loan or credit card in your name. They automatically send requests on your behalf to data brokers to remove your information, helping to reduce the amount of spam and robocalls you receive. Their VPN allows you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. And their antivirus software that will block malware and viruses before they infect your devices. Identity theft is so common that there is a new victim every 14 seconds. It costs the average victim over $1,000. So what are you waiting for? Protect yourself and your family from identity theft by going to aura.com/aceofclay. Thanks again, Aura, for sponsoring this video and keeping my family and I safe online. Now back to our sculpture. Now he is wearing a suit jacket, so I'm going in and adding a flattened snake of clay to the bottom to create that bottom edge of his jacket. Alright, now before we get any further, I just want to give him a little bit of a neck, just blending this into the torso and the existing wire that's there. And then I'm going to create the little separation between the two halves of his jacket, and then let's give him a nice skinny little tie. The Tailor is the first known anti-mutant. He is the Seamstress's counterpart, born at the very moment her human form was transformed into the merciless sleep demon she is today. Physically, the Tailor is weak and fragile, only made from a mannequin stand and old metal bars, but his power over the Seamstress is unrelenting. Now let's add the lapels. Now I just want to decorate that base a little bit with some tiny snakes of clay, create some metal piping and details. Now I just want to add some elbow joints to his arms. His arms are going to remain exposed wire like this. I just want them to look like thin metal poles. Now it's time for the head. I'm balling up some aluminum foil into the base shape that I want, and I'm going to start covering that in some clay. Once everything is nice and smooth, it's time to start adding the features. The Tailor is able to speak, have his own intelligent thoughts and free will, but he is slow-moving, as his legs are nothing more than a brass decorative stand supporting a mannequin torso, dressed in a dark brown suit and tie. Atop his head is the smallest top hat, and his eyes are piercing blue, like all the Anti-Mutants. why don't the Anti-Mutants just kill all the mutants, you may ask? In order for this to occur, the Anti-Mutant must be within a very close range of their mutant for several moments. This poses an extremely difficult task, as most mutants are strong, fast, and elusive. The mutant must be unsuspecting, but their senses are typically sharp and hard to fool. For the Tailor, because he is so fragile, he would not be able to kill the Seamstress alone, as someone would need to be his physical strength and protect him throughout the process. Now let's finish off his head with a tiny little top hat. Now let's brush on some clay softener, get it nice and smooth, and ready to bake. Now I just want to cap off those wires with some little balls of clay to just really make them look finished. This looks way better when it's painted, promise. Now for his hands, one hand is going to be a pair of scissors and the other hand is going to be a metal claw. So I just want to cut out these shapes from some Cos clay and bake them separately so I can glue them on later. And I'm using Cos clay, of course, because it stays flexible after it's baked. Then I just want to create a little joint for the claw when it's done, and I'm going to bake all these tiny little pieces on a piece of oven-safe glass. Okay, let's bake everything. And once everything's baked and cooled down, let's put everything together with some Loctite super glue. Now since the wire for his neck is kind of short, I'm not going to attach his head until he's painted, and for this I'm going to use some epoxy sculpt. You'll see how I do it in a sec. And once everything is nice and dry, it's time to paint. I'm using Folk Art brand matte acrylics and war paints. If the Tailor were to succeed, the seamstress's soul would rejoin her earthly body, and in a blinding flash of light, she would disappear into nothingness, mere particles sparkling in the light, like dust dancing through the air. After spot darkening some areas with my wash, I'm just going in with an old paintbrush to create a sort of texture with that wash that I'm going to dab off with my fingertips. This is going to make him look nice and old. Now his jaw is going to be metal, so I'm just giving it a nice black primer coat because metallic paints always look better over black. The mutants are well aware of the Anti-Mutants, and the Anti-Mutants are the only thing that mutants fear, which they often mask in an effort to not reveal their weakness. Now I'm going to go in and paint everything black as a base coat for the other colors I'll be applying. I love doing this because it merges those metal pieces with the clay and it all looks like it's the same material. you couldn't tell, I painted his suit brown. That's what it looks like in the light. Very nice. Now I'm gonna go in with my metallic bronze and paint all the metal parts. The Tailor was born thousands of miles away from the Seamstress when she was transformed. His life has been spent seeking her, a long, lonely road with the goal of defeating her at the forefront of his mind. If you encounter the Tailor, treat him as you would any normal passerby. And that's the story of the Tailor, the first Anti-Mutant. And we can't forget his jaw. Now to attach his head, I'm sticking a little snake of epoxy sculpt in that hole and pressing it onto the neck until it is the height that I want. Now say it with me. And he's done! The first Anti-Mutant, the Tailor, is complete. Let me know what you think of him in the comments. I am really enjoying this chapter of the Mutant Universe, and I hope you are too. I have so many ideas for this thing, it's not even funny, and I really hope you enjoyed the first Anti-Mutant, and of course, make sure you tell me what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Be sure to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ace of Clay. Grab a hollow print of the mutants, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.